Hello various Tamrielic races, I'm Xenocraft 1212 back with another Skyrim Special Edition mod showcase video. Now this time I'm going to be showing InsanitySorrow's weapons pack, which is a gigantic mod that is a combination of all of the mod author InsanitySorrow's weapons from the original Skyrim game. Now I was really disappointed because I would search for his individual mods and not be able to find them until I searched his name. So we're going to start off with my personal favorite, which is the Huntsman. This is it fully upgraded, and it has a sight, sadly no sneaking sight, but it has a sight, some nice kind of engraving on it, very reflective for some reason, who knows, maybe that's the wood has been treated with oils. It has a stabilizer, it has an arrow grip, and I haven't upgraded it to insta-kill dragons, so 1 second. So we bust out Ariel's bow here. Come on, dragon. I really like the scope that has on, because then it doesn't make the scoped bows mod any less fitting, you know? So it has, this is the fully upgraded form, as I said earlier, and it has a like wrap, like this kind of greenish color wrap. This will probably, yes, it is the green wrap. It has the stabilizer, which is the almost tripod looking thing out in front. It has the sight, has the nice metal on it, and arrows. Now every one of these upgrades increases its damage, and I tried to get this bow without using the console and failed because it wasn't in Breezehelm, which is where I thought it was, but I didn't do any more research. I just got impatient preparing for this video and console commanded it in. But you start out with just a simple wooden bow that then you find these packages. There's 5 in total, I believe. Each one is a different upgrade, and you can find them around the various parts of Skyrim until you end up with this beautiful bow. And in normal Skyrim, this was the first bow that I had ever seen that had a scope on it, which I thought was an awesome concept. Now, there are a lot of weapons in this mod, so I don't know, let's just go from the top, I guess. There's so many. Holy crap. I'm in God mode right now, so I'm not being weighed down by all these things. So the Cyrodiilic Steel Shortsword is very short. It has a sort of like a tiny looking handle. It has the like Triforce looking thing on it. That's cool, the lava moves. It's not very reflective, but it does look to be fairly high res from what I can see. Now I know some of these textures, if not all of them, are 4K, but this one does not appear to be. Let's move on to the green Cyrodiilic glass bow. Has this nice kind of wood grain design on it. Trying to find a place with good light. And here's what it looks like drawn while sneaking. Again, just to see it kind of get drawn back. It's really small. It's much smaller than the Huntsman, but does fairly good damage. 61. I don't have a normal bow to compare it to, but there's a green, red, and blue version. So here's red.
Damn fleas.
You don't have fleas, man. That's Inigo. He's a follower that will hopefully be sticking around with me. Made another video, and you can vote in that video whether you want him to stay. So here's an iron bow, which I have always thought needs to be in Skyrim, like iron and steel bows, and now they are. It seems to have a faster draw time than the earlier ones, although it looks like it's made out of wood for the most part, but it does say iron. It works. It definitely works. And I think it is a little bit longer than the previous glass bows. The Dagger, which is the Dragon's Bane except without the enchantment on it. Nice high res. And you can see the different layering of steel. And I don't know the Japanese names for all the little pieces down by the handle, but they are also very high res, except for the Whatever, not even going to try. Anyways, the Dwarven Zatoichi, which is another Japanese thing, except this one would probably be used more for light combat and like modern day soldiers or semi-modern, like during World War II. I would assume would probably have these, but not a katana because they're smaller, lighter, can be in your backpack, you know, packed around. This one also has the Triforce looking symbol, which we might be seeing more. So this thing, Eastern Dwarven Battleaxe. This thing is huge. Holy crap. Have no fear, my back will be saved. No arrows will be able to get to me with this thing. Holy crap. It's not very long, but man, is wide. Jeez.
This world is incessantly magnificent.
Incessantly magnificent. Eastern Dwarven Greatsword, which is skinnier than the default Dwarven sword, which I approve because the default sword is way too fat. And it has, that's interesting, it has iron, well not iron, the iron arrow thing for its sheath on my back. As we continue, the Eastern Dwarven Mace, which looks a little funky to me, but this thing would be effective in real life, although you swing it way too slow. In real life, this thing would not be
That
slow
was me
swinging.
you hit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Inigo. Eastern Dwarven Shortsword. Pretty self-explanatory name. It seems very bulky. This, in my opinion, this thing looks like it would be sort of a, like, this is what you'd use to kill a sacrifice or something. Whoa. I was not expecting this to look like that. I kind of like this. It's the Eastern Dwarven War Axe. Again, swings fairly slowly, but look at this thing. Eastern Dwarven Warhammer. Now this, how in the world would anyone be able to wield this weapon? I mean, come on. Like, this could take down a chunk of my wall if I hit it like that in real life. And I don't see how a mere man would be able to wield this thing. Holy crap. It takes forever to swing. Wow. As we continue on, we have Ebony Sword replacers. Here's the Ebony Greatsword. Some nice little decoration. Fairly long, has gold or gold colored stuff on the tip. Could be bronze or brass, I'm not sure. But again, very high res. All of these mods are going to be very, very high res. Ooh, and it looks pretty on my back too. A little unfortunate that's going through the arrows, but that can't be helped. The default, well not the default, but just the normal ebony sword. And this completely, well actually it might not completely eliminate the regular ebony sword. Ebony Zatoichi is much like the dwarven one, kind of skinny, fast blade with the Triforce symbol on it. It does swing at the speed of a normal sword, which I kind of wish it would swing faster because this thing looks light as heck. But it does not, sadly. The Edarin War Axe, which actually, never mind. I don't think that's part of this mod, so discount that. I'm fairly sure the Edarin stuff is not listed on the list that I'm reading through right now, but the Empire Longsword is. And so is the Elven Zatoichi. I really like this one. You can see the differing layers. Again, the Triforce. Nice, like oiled, treated wood for a handle. Looks like it has been used a lot. The Empire Longsword. That's awesome. Triumph, glory, victory, justice, strength, and honor. I don't understand the skulls, but whatever. This thing would hurt to get hit by. I'm not sure how to, like, where you would find these on a dead person, but these can be crafted. Eternal glory. Oh my gosh. Wow. These look like, to me, they would be Crusaders' weapons. Here's the legendary. Whoa, it's see-through. What the? It's not see-through to the rocks, but it is to the tree. What the heck? That is really interesting. Actually, might be see-through to the rocks. I don't know. I don't know how this works, but that is really weird.
What are you doing?
It does pack a punch, even though it's see-through. It does hurt. As we continue on here, I just have so many random weapons on me. No wonder my guy's way down. The orcish Zatoichi. Again, same thing except green. Seems to be the only recurring thing is that their color changes. Like with the elven one, it had the nice lines towards the handle, but they kind of all look the same. That noise sounded different.
This air is pure and clean.
Yes, it is. As we continue on, short Zatoichis, which are pretty much exactly the same as the larger versions, except these are counted as daggers in the game. And I can prove that by doing this. Here's the special dagger power attack as I almost go off the cliff there. Just don't mind me trying to kill myself here. Short elven Zatoichi, short orcish Zatoichi. Again, same thing. Wait, these are both orcish. Or they both look like orcish. One's is elven, but it has the texture of an orcish. I have steel, which you know would be the most realistic. As you can see, the wood is not treated with the same stuff. It's a different color. The silver bow. Now this is really interesting. I assume this weapon is wielded by the Silver Hand, who are werewolf hunters. Now this weapon does extra damage to the undead. So if you're ever like facing Draugr, this weapon would be one you want to have on you. And it can be crafted in the Misk section. Especially effective against the undead. Doesn't say by how much. This is the Sorrow Katana. Geez, it looks like it has been beaten up quite a bit. Bunch of dents on the blade from what I can see. And Sorrow again. And again, it is beaten up. It has dents all over it. The Sorrow Tanto, which is a dagger. Again, the same, beaten up. So a lot of these are repetitive, like all the katanas are repetitive. Now this is a steel bow, which again, I believe should have been in the game from the very beginning. I like how it has the leather around it. There's no way I'll be able to hit that rabbit from here. With this, without a sight. Oh, way high. Too low. No, where did it go? Yeah. So they can be used without a cursor. It's just difficult. An altered steel dagger. This looks low res to me. Zoom in on it. This is like the poor man's dagger. From what I could... That would be my initial like thought here. The Bastard. Which is a sword. The Bastard is a sword. That the one-handed version looks a little weird, especially if we do this. Looks like I'm holding it way too low and someone would be able to knock it out of my hands. But the two-handed version looks better in my opinion. And with this, the handle and most likely sheath color, well for sure handle and probably sheath color can be changed when crafting. There's red, I believe there's blue, there's probably green. Multiple colors for that. The Huntsman, the one I showed off earlier. Now, the Stamford and the Thegn, well, I know the Stamford is 4K, and I believe the Thegn is also. So just glory in the reflectiveness of this weapon for a second. Just like enjoy the nice purple reflections. This weapon is like high quality. It's very simple, yet I don't know what it's made out of. I say as I nearly stutter, but I believe it would be some sort of, it looks almost copperish, like a copper alloy perhaps, like steel and copper, maybe steel and bronze mixed together. I know there's multiple kinds of bronze, so maybe it's just a tougher, kind of pinkish hued bronze. The Thegn is as reflective, it's fatter, and it's a more boring color, but the reflectiveness is still almost the same. Like, insane amounts of reflectiveness. It even shows it in this menu. Just look at the glistening reflections. The Stamford, though, the Stamford wins in my opinion. So look at that. Holy cow. So as we continue on, we're nearly done with the very last one, Umbra. Now this is a special quest weapon. As you can see, it has the Oblivion mark on it, and it looks more barbaric compared to the others. And it is broken in multiple places on the handle, and it traps a target's soul 2 minutes after getting hit, which is a really long time, and is probably longer than you would normally be able to get that timer to last. And I really like the aesthetics of this weapon, but the enchantment is kind of worthless in my opinion. But it just looks really great. Like, I would probably give this to a follower, but I do not know the quest required to get it. So that's a little interesting. I had to console command it in. But now let's use these weapons, shall we? Although I should have upgraded them first, but whatever, alas. Let's see if they can kill with absolutely no tampering with. Yeah, the Huntsman is way longer than his other bows, which I appreciate because I think it looks better, and I enjoy the nice, satisfying length of these bows. Now don't take that wrong, people. I said of these bows. A swing and a miss. Oh no, I hit him. Never mind. Whatever. I believe I can fly. So if you're wondering where my wings are, I removed them so we can get a good view of the weapons. It definitely does kill these poor Forsworn. Why am I moving so slow? Without any tampering, any upgrades, it will two-shot a Forsworn looter. That cutscene made it look a little interesting, as it seemed to have, like, bent forwards instead of just going to its original position, which I assume a real bow would do. But I don't know, I've never looked at a bow firing in slow motion. By the way, that island is called Karo's Cairn. I have a separate video on it, and it's a really nice place. Oh yeah. So look at the sword, the bow, not sword. Said that because we are going to start using the Stamford now. Dual wielding with the Thegn. I don't know. If you guys know how to pronounce this thing, ooh, me likey. If you know how to pronounce the name of the sword in my left hand, please use that in the comments down below. Well, please say what the answer is. Things look too good for the game of Skyrim, really. The damage is not strong with this one. Well, I guess I made pretty short work of him, but it was not as short as I would have hoped. So you can see the blood textures do work, and I believe they work on all of the weapons. Let me turn down the audio, it's a little loud. No, not mods. Well, while that loads, I'm going to look through the description and make sure that, okay, it's done already. The mod description, of course, because this can be downloaded off of the Nexus mod manager. And you can find it on the Nexus, of course, which is what I meant to say originally, but whatever. Wow, these things do not do very much good damage when they're level 116. Yeah. And they can kill. They definitely can. Now, I don't know how these... Wow, the Thegn is way better than the Stamford. That's interesting. That was not something I would have expected, to be honest. There is a huge selection of weapons to fit whatever you would like. And a lot of them are repeating, such as all of the Zatoichis, and they really look very good. in my opinion, of course, and some of them fit into the game of Skyrim really well, such as the Huntsman and the Cyrodiilic bows also. But what am I saying? Lag. But I couldn't find where the Huntsman was, because this bow cannot be crafted. This bow has to be found, and then you have to find the various upgrades for it. Wow, that went by quickly. That was very short. Which is kind of a shame, but it's a one of a kind, and as the visuals change, so does the damage. And since the upgrades don't respawn or anything, you would only be able to have one good one if you had multiple. I will leave a link in the description to this and also list out every weapon individually. Man, those Forsworn just were dropping like flies. So I hope you enjoyed this. These are very, very good weapons, and a lot of them are 4K. This bow might be, but I'm kind of doubting it looking at the string, how it has the obvious line running down it. But the Stamford and the Thegn are 4K, and there are a lot of different weapons here, and they all kind of fit in their own place, because these bows are of glass quality, and they can be smithed with glass. It seems like they have a longer draw time, though, than other bows, such as the iron bow here. I'm not positive, but I believe the iron one does draw a little bit faster. Yeah, it does. It totally does. So they all have little tweaks like that that you wouldn't notice unless you were actually using them a lot. And there's something for everyone. Like how there's these massive comically sort of... They don't really fit in with the style of Skyrim, but how they say they're Eastern. I guess that's a different area of the dwarves. Like maybe that was over by... trying to think of the original game, Daggerfall, which is over here to the... That's to the west, actually, so never mind. They must have lived in Morrowind then, which is all the way over here to the east. Now, Morrowind was Morrowind was the game that came before the game that came before this. As I can speak. Well, as I can't speak. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and subscribe for other videos like this. I have many other mod videos, probably around 20-ish now actually, and a playlist should be popping up right about now, along with my most recent upload. And I will most likely continue to use this mod in the future, but only in the form of the Huntsman, because that is the mod that I would have tried to download on its own and failed. So if you want to see these weapons continue on, just comment down below and I will consider and most likely do that, because chances are you'll be the only one commenting. Yay. But yeah, enjoy those rights is the one comment. Bye.